Need to
right.
reboot.
God, I got to get my taxes done, but a Hot Pocket would be great.
Hot Pocket.
Exactly.
Man, I thought fucking was helping just bust some tables at Baldwin recently, and in the booth I was like, ooh, somebody's drugs. And like picked him up, like just slickly put them in my hoodie pocket. But it's like they're like these weird blue crystals.
Is it jewelry?
Yeah, it must be. It was probably from Bernie's Rock Shop. Like they're these little...
they were drugs, and it's just like fucking little actual
it's just
gems
like weird little
and
blue
crystals.
Gems. Yeah, it's some fucking hippie shit. Let's see here if I can.
Oh man. Now it's showing up.
Yeah, it's just like these weird little, I don't know, like 20 of them. No, maybe not a dozen. I guess I could probably go down to Bernie's Rock Shop and be like, what are these? Are these just, these fucking fake glass? Or are these actually some stone?
Actually, that is a new form of meth / crocodile. You're under arrest.
Like vajazzles? Are they the jewels for vajazzles?
I don't think so. I mean, they feel like they're either stone or glass.
Vajazzling their vagina at the bar.
Yeah, right. They were just in this tiny little.
What are you doing tonight, Sue?
Bag.
Oh, nothing. I'm gonna go down to Baldwin, vajazzle my pussy a little bit.
Right at the booth.
Right at the booth. See if anyone noticed.
She gets home. Fuck! I left my extra left over.
I forgot my
zones.
Forgot my jazzles. My jazzles, is that what they're called? I swear to God, that'd be great.
Oh shit!
We can make
Red Eye report jazzles. Make Red Eye report jazzles, please.
So you just have a bunch of fucking eyeballs that look like herpes.
Yes.
Red eyeballs around your fucking labia.
Why not?
Little. Oh my God! Fucking. I guess I didn't even know. I haven't talked.
Okay, so
live.
Yeah, we're fucking live.
For a while.
I gotta be careful. We're just about to talk about scandalous things that happened to me on Sunday.
well, please continue. No, okay. On this episode of the Red Eye Report, we try to get Ashtray scandalous secrets out of him. We talk about some lying ass crackers, and we learn about some African Americans that have not been heard of from me and our friends here. I started a trend with myself. I wanted to keep it going. That was we usually write the intro, but I didn't write intro. I wanted to kind of keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I think Oracle was.
I'm going to use that tactic next time.
Yeah, way to fucking justify your laziness.
No, I'm to be serious.
I don't improvise anything. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I have to.
Whatever, eat a dick. Okay, so
I have to write it down too.
First off, we got Mystic. He doesn't improvise
to do it.
Cool, whatever. First off is Mystic. He doesn't improvise anything, and he doesn't talk to his friends on Xbox like Oracle, who can't play Ninja Gaiden. Next up is Ashtray. Yeah, this is gonna be a horrible intro. All right, I'm trying my mindset wrong with this fucking show, but I'm going with it. I am owning this, right?
Yeah,
I'm still talking. Eat a dick. Next up is Ashtray. I thought of like a cool little relation round for you earlier, but now I'm really, really, really high, and I can't think of it right now. So Ashtray's with us. Also, what do you got behind you today, Oracle? A sunset in Oklahoma? Are you in Trump country?
This looks more interesting than Oklahoma. I'd give it like maybe South Dakota.
South Dakota. Oracle coming with us live in South Dakota, waiting for his mushrooms to finish growing. Right? And I'm Teddy Bear. I smoked the joint and ate a whole bag of fucking of those goddamn jelly beans, those Starburst jelly beans, because I cannot resist those motherfuckers. Yeah, like I'm not a big candy guy. I can resist a lot of candy, but when you get those jelly beans on me, I can't get it. Okay, so the title of this show is "Lying Ass Crackers," which I can't. Oh, you really did? Oh, you put a hard R in there, buddy. Gotta take that. Gotta put the A. Can't have no hard R's, man.
What?
In the title, you got crackers. No hard A, no hard R's.
So lion ass crackas.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll change it for you, Teddy.
Yeah,
awesome. I want to see it change in the fly. All right, keep going.
Boom! Look at that. fucking Elon Musk is working on getting us to Mars.
Yeah, right. And we can change our title live.
Live.
What happened to Mystic? Did his batteries die?
I'm right here, man.
Just ain't saying shit. Okay, so
I got nothing to say to your ass.
This show is mainly gonna be about the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Have any of y'all ever heard of this group?
I have heard of the group, but I don't know anything about them.
They're basically what was it, like a 50 years or so after the Civil War kind of formed.
I bought Coke off of one once.
It was actually established in 1894 by Caroline Meriwether Goodrich and Anna Davenport Raines in Nashville, Tennessee, actually.
You would know when the fucking Civil War ended.
Continue. He's making fun of me.
He said that it started 50 years after the Civil War ended. And then you said 1894, and he's like, "Yep, see, 50 years."
Awesome. Cool.
Shut up.
Ashtray, smart.
So they actually they formed the group with the intention to kind of help out the Confederate veterans, build hospitals, things like that, and basically help the community. But the underlying, they stated that their intention also was to tell of the glorious fight against the greatest odds a nation ever faced, that their hallowed memory should never die. They did not want they did not want the Southern soldiers and veterans to be slandered because of the slavery thing and everything else. Yeah. They sought to kind of change that. Yeah, because they lost. They kind of wanted to change that narrative. My thing on this is
if snowflakes.
Goddamn crackers. So I was kind of thinking, curious, like where they had to have known that this shit was kind of truthful with the stories about how the slaves were treated and things. Because the way they kind of make it, the statements that they make, I don't think a slave would be like, you know what, I don't want to hang out here and fucking run away from them.
Did they really think that that was a lie?
That what was a lie?
That they were treated fairly. That they were treated poorly.
No,
or they were just trying to perpetuate that, so they're like Holocaust deniers.
In a way, it was like trying to basically validate the entire effort to defend the South, is what these women were doing. Okay. Because they were for 50 years, like, not only were they, veterans of that war, but they were the losers, and a lot of them were poor people who fought because the rich people who actually owned slaves could pay money to send some poor bastard to fight in his place.
Yeah,
right.
So they were really fighting for the plantation owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck if just imagine, like, if you were some just young dumbass and the Confederacy was poor and someone paid to send you to war, and then, like, you fucking lost and they had to saw one of your legs off because you survived Gettysburg, and then you're just sitting in a fucking shitty ass veterans ward, if there was even such a thing, for 50 years before some group comes around and be like, hey, you know what, like, you fought against great odds, and, like, you did your best for your, your state or whatever. It's like, so finally someone makes me at least feel like I did something, even though on a grand scale, it was for a terrible cause.
Even though fuck them niggers. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I find it ironic that you know more about this subject than Teddy does.
He doesn't know more about this subject than me. He just won't shut up.
That is true.
All right.
Therein lies the problem. So they started. They did do some good. Like I said, they helped soldiers. I didn't really look that shit up. I just really did some good.
That shit up. They rubbed their backs.
Because I was curious about, like, I was honestly curious about the philosophy of this shit. They kind of started fostering this. This was called the Lost Cause movement. Which is to say that there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm pretty sure all you all know that the Civil War was started over. It didn't start over slavery, but it was the cause of it, pretty much. The
Southern states were really afraid they were going to lose.
Yeah, but they hold true that it was all about states' rights, and specifically the slaves, the states' rights to hold slaves. Also,
that's kind of a word.
which is a word that fucking doesn't. I mean, if somebody's well cared for and has a job, you don't call them slaves. You call them a worker. Or something like that. It was just weird. It was weird how they justified.
Yeah, right.
So one of the ways they did that, one of the best ways to do this is to go after the kids, because the kids, if you teach the kids and teach them how it was and everything else, then the
they're
kids
inferior. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be on top if they didn't suck.
and like they started making sure the textbooks that came out didn't slander or make the South look bad in any kind of way. If you go to, there is a, let me see if Orca can pull this up. There is the Daily Beast, how Dixie's history got whitewashed.
I'm on it, buddy.
Boom. If you scroll down about midway, let me see here. Mine's loading up. There is a page from an old history book.
Okay, there's a page from old history.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom. Mine's not loading up yet.
All right.
Yeah. Technical difficulty.
We are
professionals.
Fucking pros here.
We would like to plug our sponsors.
Whatever. Good.
Okay, I'm in. What am I looking for?
There is
Charleston Chew.
Mine's still not loading up. It's a fucking, there's a page at the bottom of the history. There's a page from an old history book, from the Old South. And
while he's bringing it up, can you tell us about it?
Well, it says the caption underneath it is how slaves were in the Old South, and it's got a family of well-dressed slaves on what looks like a boat, shaking hands with a boat, man.
Yeah,
and other white people around them are scrubbing the deck instead of the black people that would have been scrubbing the deck for real.
That's what. All right. That's what I was like. See, we used to let slaves have their own boat.
So they were just. It was propaganda. They were propaganda artists, is what you're saying.
One in the middle there. You'll see it. Yeah, that right there. How the Negroes lived under slavery.
Get out of here, Daily Beast.
Yeah, they were giving me shit about my pop-up blocker. Fuck you guys. Well, yeah, okay, so that's fucked up. How widespread was this? Did these textbooks go?
It was mainly in the South, in the southern states, and the Confederates. They did try to get some later on. They did try to get some influence into like colleges and things like that. And it actually caused some problems when people started moving around the country in later years, because as a lot of people thought that it was over states' rights and everything else, but it was over slavery. And the books they taught for, one of them was by Lyon Gardner Tyler, called the Catechism on the History of the Confederate States of America, which states that Northerners did away with slavery because the climate was unsuitable. They had no intention of ever paying the South for its slaves after abolition, and the slaves in the South were faithful to their owners, who were caring, gentle people. Cruel slave owners existed only in the North.
So is this the beginning of fake news?
Fake news was back then for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the same concept. They're just lying.
Yep.
To fucking get their way. I mean, I'm sure that's been going on.
Dude, I'm sure that's been going on. Yeah, since fucking Roman times or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it totally has. It actually wasn't until the creation of the Associated Press that the idea of that kind of like 50s, 60s, like Walter Cronkite objective, like these are the facts. That whole idea wasn't created until the Associated Press in, I think, the early 1920s. Yeah, I got a book about
and then it died.
Yep, then it died.
In the early 2000s.
It died.
Yep.
So news was just complete bullshit before then?
Yeah. You remember hearing about the
propaganda,
the Hearst Empire? Or like have you seen Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, like that.
Rosebud.
Yeah, like he was, notorious for writing fake stories about people if they wronged him.
Well, yeah, he's totally fucking over political. I mean, he would fucking attack the living fuck out of any political person he didn't like.
Yeah.
And that was the only news of the time. Like you weren't fucking,
it was everywhere. He was like one of the biggest publishers. Yeah. And the thing is, like, sometimes we don't realize that how much we take for granted the journalistic standards that were made in the 18th or 19th century.
Boom.
Bam. So
So
Daughters of the Confederate, those floozies, what are they up to?
Those fucking splendiferous thundercunts. Another way to kind of get history to be remembered is by monuments. All right.
Mhm.
I did look the last week. I did look for this. I didn't refresh up on notes and shit from last week when we were supposed to do the show. There are about 1,503 Confederate memorials or monuments in the United States. Of those 700 are actual monuments or statues,
Mhm.
and I believe that 10 military bases are named after Confederate generals or whatever, or Confederate people. And looking, I did look, and I cannot find any other country that had a civil war that acknowledged the losing side this profusely or this fucking much. And
Go to Ireland.
Oh, really?
Well, they're still fucked up. So,
well, I'm saying both sides. Like, there's both sides. You have to think about it. Like, both sides have to tell themselves that, like, what they were doing is right,
mm-hmm.
even if they lost.
With how many of these monuments were established because of the Daughters of the Confederacy?
I couldn't find that actual number. It was a shit ton though. It was like, I think it was like 300 or 400 or something like that. It was a shit ton of them.
Like
that they actually,
a lot of it.
They're the ones who put all these ones that have been taken down recently.
Taken down up recently, yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, here in Nashville, Vanderbilt, in 2017, I believe it was, they had they took Confederate off of I think one of their dormitories or something like that, and because the United Daughters of the Confederacy like donated like $50,000 to help pay for it back then at the time, because they took that Confederate off of there, Vanderbilt had to pay them $1.2 million, which is the cost now of what that would have been back in the day.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, and it says, and they says between the fucking 1810. Oh, where'd it go? I just had it. Not 1810. Shit, where'd it go? No. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, 1880s and 1990. They pretty much worked to define the Southern identity around images from an old South that portrayed slavery as benign and slaves as happy, and a reconstruction that portrayed blacks as savage and immoral.
Yeah,
he just turned all green on my screen.
We're going into typo negative mode again.
Yeah, he turned all green for you too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, it's happened to me. I thought it's just me. I'm like,
you're talking about
me? Yeah,
me?
you're fucking really high, dude.
Yeah.
I'm watching the feed. It's delayed. My camera must be. What did I do last time? Did I
You never fixed it.
Did I just stay this?
Yes.
Yeah, weird.
What the fuck is going on?
It's like,
there it is. There it is. It's green. See, I did look like crazy.
Green as fuck.
Oh, that's right, because on my preview it looks normal over here, but
you look like you're in a fucking
bunker.
A fucking Beastie Boys video from '92 or some shit.
Check your head.
Funny and the funny that you read.
All right. So yeah, these bitches put up all these monuments.
All these monuments, and most of them came up during the Jim Crow. They lined up exactly with the Jim Crow fucking segregation.
Oh yeah.
Time frame.
Yeah, they were there to explicitly fuck with black people to tell them like, hey, guess what? We're gonna fucking the Civil War's over, but we're gonna fucking kill your ass.
You're a citizen now, but here's all these limitations on what you can do with your life.
Right. So anybody that's like, oh man, it's for our history. It's honoring those in the battle. No, it's to fuck with people and to make them afraid. Like that's what it is.
Well, yeah, for fucking with the black people, but it also you think about the generations that came after the Civil War and had like only their grandparents, told them these stories, and it's like think of old grandpa, like who's got old stub leg, because they got obliterated by a cannonball, has got to justify like what he did and tell those stories. Of course, he's going to tell it in like the rosiest way he can, that like he was a war hero who survived.
Right.
And like these stories get passed down.
I wanted to keep him in chains, and those fellas in blue didn't want me to.
Yeah. Like these stories get passed down, and then they consider it their culture. Like
that's why a lot of people.
It's not that easy to just tell it like, nope, it's gone, null and void. Like that's why they get all butthurt and like.
I mean, down here, heritage is a big thing. I mean, I know y'all don't. I mean, do y'all see? I mean, now this is getting now as I've been seeing more of this. I think it's because it's election year. But there's a shit ton of guys riding around with a Confederate flag on one side of the truck bed and a fucking Trump 2020 on the other side.
I think that's a Tennessee thing. You don't see a lot of that in Rhode Island.
I think it's a southern. Yeah, I think it's a southern thing, is what I think. And these people are really. I mean, they're. I mean, they really want to feel that that people in their family that went to war and died for it. Which I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but it was for the wrong reason.
Well, yeah. So it's the way they sleep at night and say like, I didn't come from bad people. No.
Okay, well, if you want to play that game, where's your fucking Iraq and Afghanistan post 9/11 wars flags, or your fucking Vietnam War flag, or your Korean War flag?
I'm sure there are plenty of them who've got plenty of those.
WW2 flag. Yeah, but if people want to say like, oh man, it's our history, it's our culture, or whatever, why is it the fucking Civil War the one that matters to them?
It's because it's the one they lost.
Yeah, fuck those losers. Feels good to be on the winning side.
Right? Feels good to be a northerner. Fucking Yank.
Right.
Oh my God. So I wanted to ask y'all, like, I know I haven't, this hasn't been in the news lately, but what are you all's takes on the monuments coming down? I mean, do you think we should have them? Should they come down? Yada yada yada.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I should not have them. That's what I'm saying. We should not have them.
Oh,
be like a monument to Hitler.
Oh, well,
you know, that's their culture. Is that their culture?
Oh, I think so. Like, take for instance, Robert E. Lee. Like, he was, like, well respected across the country. You know, it's only like because he felt of his obligation to, fucking Virginia. Goddamn Virginia.
Okay, I guess you could make arguments for that, but
you could be like, should we tear down all General Lee's?
Do you know who the most, who the person is that has the most monuments and plaques in their name in the South is?
Who?
No. David Duke.
I don't know who that
no
is.
shit. You know David Duke, the
Dukes of Hazzard?
No, he's the guy.
Clan. Great fucking
wizard. The fucking grand.
He was former.
He dedicated a bunch of them, didn't he? Also,
and he's still alive. He
it doesn't matter who put him up. That's what I'm saying. That there's enough following and culture that people just are like, yeah, that's our culture. That's David. You know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah,
dude's a fucking piece of shit.
Well, and that's the thing too is it's very easy to shape culture, especially back then. You know, with David Duke support, like he's still around. He endorsed Trump like right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's old as fuck.
He was there at Charlottesville.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
So I guess with the monuments, I think I listened to a TED Talk or something, and it was a former mayor of New Orleans, and he was talking about his decision to take down monuments, and it was before I had thought like, oh well, I get like they want to hold on to some of their history or whatever, but then when I found out how clear of a lineage to groups like the KKK, to the Jim Crow era, and the fact that these monuments were absolutely put there to fuck with black people and to tell them like, hey, watch your ass. Maybe things have changed on the national level, but they haven't changed around here. That then it became very clear to me, like, fuck these statues. These things need to go. There's no way for our country to move forward if we got bullshit like that.
Yeah, I guess like even though like these dumb Southerners, like they legitimately feel like, well, that's my culture, you know, because they don't know any better.
Right.
It's like you gotta fucking rip that Band-Aid off and just get it over with.
Like we just can't. We can't move forward as a country if we let that festering fucking infection exist, you know, to kind of take the analogy further or metaphor. But Yeah.
My other question would be: do any of y'all are there any Confederate memorials or statues in your area that you know of?
Not that I know of, no.
That you know of? Okay.
What was the question?
Confederate.
Are there any Confederate memorials or statues to Confederate guys anywhere in your area that you know of?
Oh yeah,
that you've seen.
We actually had. I can't remember exactly what ended up happening. I think they kind of compromised by removing the placard, which so in the cemetery as this is one of those situations where I thought, like, no, you shouldn't fucking just remove this, because basically Camp Randall, where the Badgers play football, it housed a bunch of wounded during the Civil War, and it also housed wounded Confederate soldiers. And there's this plot of land in this long time old graveyard here in Madison that has the remains and headstones for each of those Confederate soldiers who died here in custody. And then there's like a little, just a center stone with a placard saying that like these were the Confederate prisoners who died here at Camp Randall and blah, blah, blah. Well, when all this movement was to remove Confederate monuments, there was this big uproar here where people wanted to basically just like, let's exhume this grave, just get rid of them. It's like,
let's fuck the bodies while we're at it.
What the fuck?
Hey man, I'm trying to fucking help change. I'm a change maker.
What the fuck?
The thing is, like, before, this is maybe 10, 15 years ago. God. I remember going to a live kind of a theater performance through this graveyard telling different stories about Madison's history, where like you would walk to a certain headstone and then actors would come out, dressed in the era and tell you a story about the time and like who this person was. And that part of the monument was part of this kind of open theater history show. And it was interesting because it's like, oh, wow, like basically it was us, being respectful for our dead prisoner soldiers. But then because this fever to like remove all Confederate monuments, they're like, oh, let's get rid of it, like just get rid of the whole thing. And it's like, wait a minute. I think they compromised by like changing the placard or removing it.
Okay, yeah. So Wisconsin, they have a list of all the fucking monuments.
Yeah, monuments, yeah.
Wisconsin apparently has 2. One in Prairie du Chien and the United Daughters of the Confederacy.
No shit.
They made a monument to Jefferson Davis.
Was he the president of the
Wisconsin Dells,
the president, right?
Yeah,
the Confederate spy Belle Boyd is buried in Spring Grove Cemetery in Wisconsin Dells.
Well, I put in Messenger a picture of a statue that I drive by every fucking day. If you can put that up, it is a horrid looking statue. It is it's a statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was the guy who started the KKK.
This one where he's got this weird face.
Yeah, like this buggy-eyed shit.
What the fuck? Yes. Why does he look so fucked up?
That's not how that old, is it?
No, it's not that old at all. It was put up in like the 2000s, I believe, or maybe like late 90s or something like that.
I think I remember people making fun of it because he looked so like fucking terrible.
Well, I mean, people shot at it. They fucked up. I mean, I'm not trying to flatter the goddamn fucking statue. I'm trying to fucking make it. You can find a better picture if you want to, but I'm not.
Here,
let's get his good side.
I think this one's it.
That's a ridiculous ass looking picture.
Yeah. Let's see here, copy link.
Where are you putting it?
I'll post it right in the. Well, I'll put it in the chat thread and I'll post it in our thread.
Put it in the outline.
Okay.
Some bitch.
Put it in your mama.
Yeah.
I was muted. Oh.
Yeah. Where are you putting it?
I posted the link.
There
Where?
It is. I see it up there on the thing.
Both in the chat for us,
in the chat on Facebook,
and for our Facebook.
In the messenger.
Where are you looking? In your fucking closet?
Oh my god!
It's hard to fucking thing right now. It's fine.
But look at it. Look at the guy's face.
Look at this fucking picture. He looks like he looks like the bad guy from Roger Rabbit or something.
Yeah, he does.
What the fuck? Dude, I say leave that motherfucker up.
Yeah,
That shit
it
is
actually does him a
ridiculous.
disservice.
Holy
Well, this is what I
shit,
talk about
man.
every day to work.
That's some scary looking shit.
And I don't understand why the city allowed to put it up, and why. I mean,
I'm surprised.
the
like,
guy who
whoever
started the
paid for it
KKK
was
is not
like,
I don't understand why you want to be known. I mean, the KKK was started in Pulaski, Tennessee, which is like an hour and 10 minutes south of me. There is a plantation in my town that I've never been to because I'm afraid I'll get kicked out for asking too many fucked up questions. It's like 3 miles that way. But one more thing I wanted you to look at. There is a page I put in the I got too much shit open on my tablet. Close. Okay. Close.
Travis says, "Who sculpted that? Stevie Wonder." Shit.
Oh my god.
Man, that shit is fucking
Right.
amazing.
Right.
If you open the Encyclopedia Virginia .org, Children UDC Catechism for 1904. This actually is the last thing I'm talking about here, and then we can go on to our black folks.
Thank fucking God.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Okay, what am I? I'm looking at a bunch of text here.
Yeah, this is actually from the book. This is from another thing from the textbook for
read
in 1904. This is kind of they wanted you to kind of, this is kind of like an answer question answer format that they wanted you to memorize to answer kids' questions. And some of these you just look, if you go down to number 13. Number 13 and read on. Maybe you can start at 1 if you have some time, but number 13 and read on.
God damn.
why don't you read for us?
He can't read.
Number 13? How are the slaves treated with great kindness and care in nearly all cases, a cruel master being rare, and lost the respect of his neighbors if he treated the slaves badly. Self-interest would have prompted good treatment if a higher feeling of humanity had not.
Oh
wow. Yeah.
What was the feeling of the slaves toward their masters? All the while they're calling them slaves and not workers or anything else.
Right? Yeah. Employees.
Yeah, they were faithful and fully devoted, and were always ready and willing to serve.
They were hired at manpower.
Yeah, and the last one I'm gonna read here is this. It's how did they behave during the war? They nobly protected and cared for the wives of soldiers in the field and widows without protectors. Though often prompted by the enemies of the South to burn and plunder the homes of their masters, they were always true and loyal.
Wow.
Ain't that nice?
That's some bullshit, huh?
Fucking liberals.
But this is what
liberals made it all up.
1904. So I mean, this is stuff they were teaching the kids back then. So, yeah. We're gonna talk about some black folks now.
Yeah.
My last Black History thing was about killing Crackas. Actually, it was about slave revolts, and in that I asked everybody to find an African American that is not normally talked about in the month of February.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I saw his Facebook thing flip up, so I was reading that. Sorry. Yeah, because like I said, in February you only get the main 5. You get Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, the Peanut Guy, George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, whatever.
Right. And Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, and Aunt Jemima, because that bitch's herb is fire. If you don't like maple, you gotta like Aunt Jemima's. Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna start with who had Daryl Davis. We're gonna start with Daryl Davis because who had that?
I have Daryl Davis.
Daryl Davis.
So
Daryl
Davis is.
Figure Oracle picked a black man named Daryl.
He's this dude that I learned about recently. He's a musician. He's a blues musician. And for the past 30 years, he actually has been converting people that are in the KKK and other hate groups. And
I think I heard about him.
He says he hasn't converted them. He's basically just gotten to know them and had conversations with them, right? And befriended them. I mean, this dude fucking goes to rallies and shit. There's like pictures of him at rallies, and 200 people have renounced being in the KKK.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he befriended them.
Yeah, because he befriended them, and he's just, I listened to an interview with him, and he's just totally, he fucking just has a conversation, and that's the thing. I respect that so much because I think that is something that is missing in society today. You don't.
People can't have a conversation with someone they know who won't agree with them.
Exactly, they can't have a real conversation, and there's this whole demonizing thing. Now, yeah, if you're in the KKK, that's fucked up. But if you don't give anybody any space to come out of that experience, if they're just automatically,
let alone if you refuse to talk to them, how do you expect them to have their mind changed?
Right. So this guy is all about just engaging in those conversations. Super cool dude. He's actually he's based, I think, around Baltimore. And in the interview, he was saying he was going to set up a museum with because they give him, when they leave the KKK, they give him the robes and shit. And these people are the top fucking KKK people too. We're not just talking about we're the low level guys or whatever. Those, yes,
Flukies?
Those happen. Yeah. The flunkies, flukies. But the Grand Dragons and shit like that, he's converting those guys, or just talking to them, having a conversation and calling them out on their bullshit, being all right, well, you're saying this about black people and crime. Well, what about one of the examples that he gave, a conversation that he's had? He's well, based on what I've seen, I think white people have a predilection of becoming serial killers. Name me black serial killers. And, the guy couldn't name any. So it's just the way, the demographic, where people are, the
Except
circumstances.
For that one new guy they found, where they think
the one new guy,
the leader, who's fucking 90
the most
plus.
prolific fucking serial killer in history.
He just looked like an old
black truck driver.
Yeah. Oh, I guarantee
because that's how he got so many.
There.
Never saw him coming.
Right.
It's it's a black guy. He wouldn't be a serial killer.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll steal my wallet, but he ain't.
Yeah, right.
I was just ready to say that.
So Daryl Davis,
we're going.
Yeah, he's really cool, and he's a musician. I guess he's a great jazz musician, blues musician that's worked with some really big names and stuff. And that's how he met how he befriended a lot of these characters, is that he would start by playing out at the bar or club that they would hang out at, and they'd be like, damn, this guy's fucking really good. And then the conversation would start
brother
up.
can play.
Yeah. So, Daryl Davis, check it out.
Music mending
he's got a bunch
hearts.
of shit.
Word, awesome, cool.
Word.
All right, who's got Chick Webb here?
That'd be Ashtray. Chick Webb, pull that YouTube video up. It'll show us some pictures. So, I only know about Chick Webb because of the Ken Burns jazz series. But it's actually some great stuff to put on for cocktail hour. This little guy, he was born in at the I can't remember when he was born February 10th, 1905. But basically, when he was an infant, he fell down some stairs in the family home. So they say. Who knows if his fucking family kicked him down.
By a white man.
But it crushed several of his vertebrae that required surgery. And granted, this would be in 1905. So imagine doing surgery on an infant's vertebrae in 1905. Yeah,
they probably didn't even have anesthesia.
Yeah, so he never regained full mobility. The injury progressed into tuberculosis of the spine, leaving him with short stature.
Probably just spit on his back with some cocaine.
You'll see when the video comes up. And he had a badly deformed spine, which basically gave him a hunchback. So he was this really short hunchback dwarf. Or he looked like a dwarf, but he wasn't actually a dwarf. It was just his injury. So at 17, he moved to New York City in 1926 and was leading a band in Harlem. I forgot to mention that the doctor basically told him he should pick up a musical instrument to loosen his spine because of the tuberculosis and the injury. To keep him limber, he picked drumming. And he eventually got to be the house band of the Savoy Ballroom, which was like it was the ballroom in Harlem at the time. And he was known like for no bands wanted to battle him, because back then it was like, it wasn't, like DJs or anything like that. It was the bands set up side by side and they would play songs back and forth basically. And so he would always beat all these bands.
Your cat?
Yeah, she fucking dumped over the trash can.
Goddamn dumbass cat.
Fucking dumb shit.
Goddamn cat.
Yeah, he had basically his own custom like foot pedals and cymbals and everything. They said like sometimes you could barely, you could only just see like top of his head over the drum kit when you were down on the dance floor. He's that short.
So did he do anything to help black people, or what?
He was
just fucking dance for the whiteys.
No, he didn't dance for the whiteys. He led a very influential jazz band, and the thing is, this was in Harlem. It was mixed race, but it was not like this is a white person's club. This was the club in Harlem, and he actually took a bet on Ella Fitzgerald. Like, we wouldn't have Ella Fitzgerald because a lot of people said she was too ugly, wasn't skinny enough. They wouldn't give her a shot. And so he took her on as a teenager, because I think she grew up basically being like she worked for a brothel as a teenager. And he gave her a shot. She became like the female singer for his house band. And that's what made it like right at the end of his life. Because he died when he was like, how old was he? 34.
Damn.
Oh, no.
Because he would play and he would just, you listen to some of his music, the drumming, it's like that little guy is doing that. But he would have to like lay down. He could be in severe pain. And back then, he probably just did morphine or heroin or something and just
exactly
zoned out, But yeah, he eventually his tuberculosis killed him.
Damn.
That was Chick Webb.
Word.
All right. Well, I am going to talk about Moses Fleetwood Walker, who is actually considered the first African American to play professional baseball. A lot of people think it was just Jackie Robinson, but that wasn't the case. This guy, he bam. Okay.
Bam.
I don't care where he was born. God damn it.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Sorry. He played for the Toledo Blue Stockings of the American Association in the 1884 season.
Nice.
42 games total before injuries injuries got in the way. There was another guy. I forget. Where's
Took a bat to the knee in the parking lot.
Probably so. There's another guy, William Edward White. He actually played before him, but he only played one game. He came in for a batter. He's a pinch hitter. He was rumored to be black and passing as white because he's so pale. He's so fair skinned. So y'all have heard of passing, right?
Heard of what?
Passing. Passing. Like how black people back in the old day, if they were mixed or whatever or pale enough, they could actually be considered white.
I see.
I guess I never heard the term passing before.
Yeah, we call it passing. Is when you're mixed or whatever, but you're fair enough to be mistaken as white with a little bit of tan. So
right.
So yeah,
he just came back from Cancun.
Yeah, William Edward White. That was who that was. So yeah, the first guy to play baseball. He was actually the real first, not Jackie Robinson.
So was Jackie Robinson first black in the major leagues? Is that what
in the major leagues? Yeah. Boom. Okay. Next up is Mystic. I don't know who your guy is, buddy. Sorry. Is it this Tim Allen guy? Will Allen?
Bill Cosby.
Will Allen. I decided to go. This guy came and talked to my wife's class a few years ago. I decided to go with local dude. He actually played professional basketball. In where the fuck was he? It was in the 71, so it was for the ABA. He played for the Floridians and the Baltimore Bullets. Never played in the NBA. Retired, and then he actually has a BA in physical education and an honorary PhD in agriculture. So in 91, I think it was, he moved to Milwaukee after he was done playing with his wife, and he started what's called growingpower.org. Don't go there, actually, because that's some fucking weird site. I think so.
Some spam site.
Yeah,
there goes your credit score.
It's called Growing Power, and it's basically he taught inner city people how to grow their own food, how to be self-sustained, because a lot of inner city, and especially in Milwaukee, is are food deserts.
Food deserts, yeah.
Where there's just no grocery stores really around.
You got the quick stop.
Especially, yeah, exactly. It's just convenient.
Dollar General.
And
yeah,
that changed a lot. He changed. It was 25 years ago he did this shit. Urban farming. He actually won a Genius Grant in 2008 from the MacArthur Foundation for his work on urban farming and sustainable food production. The Kellogg Foundation also gave Allen a grant to create jobs in urban agriculture. And he did it on the Northwest side, which is predominantly African American. Won a 2013 NAACP Image Award. And yeah.
I saw something on that guy on public television, I think it was.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just think it's he grew up on his parents were crop sharers or sharecroppers. Sharecroppers in South Carolina. So he was born in 49, so he grew up, learning how to grow his own shit, and I mean, he even has food. He has tilapia farms and shit. So yeah, I just think it's cool to see someone local,
Yeah.
Right on.
Word.
Nope. That's our topic on the Daughters of the Confederacy line. That's Cracka, that's Crackers. Anybody have anything to add before we move on to the what section?
I want to ask a kind of a general question. Rough estimate. How many years do you think before I don't want to say like racism is gone, but where it's like it'll never be gone.
It'll never be gone, bro.
Maybe I guess like
if we move to another planet,
eventually,
the purple skin, those purple skin motherfuckers are against us, bro.
If we're around,
better than us.
If we're around 1,000 years from now,
yeah,
it might. Well, the thing is we'll be so multicultural at that point. Like
so long as globalism continues,
nobody's going to be pure it's Anglo-Saxon or pure African. Or pure anything. It's going to be all mixed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there'll be so much mix. If anything, it's like so long as we don't have some stupid nuclear winter where we go back and like where civilization breaks down and we all go back into a little tribalism mode,
Yeah.
That'll go right back. That'll go to the heart of racism.
It'll never be gone. Racism,
and
bigotry in general has been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that this country has a kind of unique and the problem.
The Civil War over it.
The Civil War is still not been reconciled.
Yeah,
like we have been avoiding true reconciliation and really thinking about the aftermath.
I guess maybe that was where I was thinking, like, how long do you think it'll be before our country gets over that? Because, it's been so fucking long.
Right. And it won't happen until we really have, those fucking real-ass discussions and just bring it out in the open and be like, hey, this is, yes, this is something that's fucked up from the past, but how do we
maybe 3 or 4 more generations where it's like, where we actually, because we are also in a place in time where we're, a lot of this history, we're in a place where we have now the media and communications to share some of these stories we never knew about. Say even just the Tulsa massacre, where it's just we didn't know anything about this up until
anything about it.
Was it 2012 when that report was finally out? Like people knew of it, but as far as the general,
the legend,
American, consciousness of Black history.
Right.
We didn't know about it till then. So we are starting to digest, some of these fucking terrible atrocities we've done and the actual reality from both sides. Whereas it was real easy back then, you know, to like the daughters of the Confederacy just fucking make up their own story.
Right.
Fucking bitches.
Mystic, anything to add?
Fuck, by the way.
Oh, really? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I just want to say one last thing then. Fucking learn about the history. I mean, try everybody explore and learn history because I'm a big believer in those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. And it feels like we're starting to repeat some of our history from the past with the shit that's going on nowadays. Anyway, next up is the What's Sexy part of our show. First up was me with Wendy's fucking breakfast, all right? So I tried Wendy's breakfast today. Yeah, I tried Wendy's. I'm not a big fast
breakfast.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had breakfast.
Yeah, Wendy's has breakfast now. I'm not a big fast food guy. I take that back. When my girlfriend's here on the weekends, I do fast food a lot, and I'm blaming it on you. So I'm just gonna say that she's gonna send me a message. She's gonna send me a message in a minute, like, no, you always say you want some shit. Anyway, but when I'm on my way to work, or whatever, sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Like today, I had to shave, so I didn't eat breakfast. So I went to Wendy's and got different breakfast. Like that breakfast was pretty fucking tight. I got the Baconator sandwich. It's on some kind of cool little bun. It's sort of the egg is a lot fresher. The egg looks like it's actually they cooked it in the thing when I ordered it. The sausage is a lot better. I actually like it. I'm gonna go back and try it. They don't have hash browns. They don't have hash browns. They have these little like potato wedges that are awesome. But it was actually pretty good. It tasted like real fucking real. It tasted more real compared to McDonald's, which is right down the right pretty much across the street from it. So
do you have Carl's Jr. out by you, Teddy?
I do
Hardee's.
have. I've got a Hardee's right by my house.
Oh, they have Hardee's out there. Have you had their breakfast?
I've not had their breakfast. No.
That's
Theirs
usually
is always
my
good.
breakfast.
You've never had Hardee's breakfast?
No,
Oh, man.
I'm not a big
You're
fast.
talking about
I don't.
Wendy's, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, are you fucking kidding?
No, man. I'm a kid.
They are by far the best for breakfast, and I
Really?
can guarantee
The
you,
Frisco breakfast sandwich. Oh,
I mean, yeah, it's good
delicious.
shit.
Their biscuits are all fucking hand rolled, man. They're not frozen. They're all fresh. They're fucking.
All right, well,
Hardee's breakfast, if it's done right, is phenomenal. Oh my
All
god,
right, well, I'll try Hardee's
you're
breakfast tomorrow.
crazy. Bacon, egg, and cheese. That's all you need. Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah,
biscuit.
I need sausage on my sandwich. I'm not a big
All right,
bacon.
get the
I'll get that
sausage.
too.
Get the fucking sausage.
I like my sausage crispy, and people don't make it crispy down here. Creepy.
I got biscuits.
All right, next up is fucking Rare Replay Oracle.
Yep, Rare Replay. So this is on Xbox. It's a Game Pass game, and Rare, the video game company. It's their games from the past 30 years. So
Yeah, every game except for fucking GoldenEye.
well, yeah,
I
they,
want fucking Hardee's, man.
so they couldn't put GoldenEye on there. I was playing some Blast Core last night. I was having a good. I don't know if you guys remember that one from N64. Where you go around and fucking
drive around. Yeah, just like fucking shoot shit.
Yeah,
With the big tank.
yeah. Now with like trucks and shit like that, like construction.
It was almost like you were a little Tonka truck and bulldozer and shit. Yeah, I remember that one.
So just all those games, 30 games, just kind of a blast from the past. I've been enjoying playing it. Normally, I don't get into retro games that much, but I don't know. I'm in the mood for this right now.
Wait, so is this a PC or thing, or what was it?
No, it's an Xbox.
It's an Xbox.
Xbox. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Game Pass game.
I mean, if you're a big fan of Banjo-Kazooie, and I think Conker's not on there, is it? Because I don't think Conker's on there either, right?
No.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I know Banjo-Kazooie. Both Banjo-Kazooies are on there. I know both of the Perfect Darks are on there.
My brother had this.
I'd play the Perfect Dark. Fucking
just
Banjo-Kazooie's
fell asleep.
annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was annoying as fuck. All right, next up is Mystic with Bernie.
Oh, I just love the guy.
Really?
He's growing on me more, I guess.
Yeah.
Before I thought he
have
was
to
just
say
kind of
that,
a
too.
fad. I am a little concerned that he can't really get anything done unless Democrats take back the House.
Yeah,
the House.
exactly.
Yeah, because they're not.
We need a big blue wave.
Yeah, it's got to be all, and I don't know that he can do it. I think it would be hilarious if he got elected though, and he picked like Warren as his running mate, because Rich people would just be like, "Oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
We have
right.
to move everything offshore before they fucking change it all."
What do you think Biden would say if you offered him vice president again? VP again? Oh, Uncle Joe?
Probably try to fight him.
Have an aneurysm. Yeah, right? Malarkey.
Anyway, yeah, it's real quick. It's real quick. What's that?
Well, okay.
Don't want to spend more
Next
time
up
on
is
my fucking thing.
Ashtray ruffling feathers at the honky tonk.
Yeah, I'll try to keep mine brief. But
Wow.
yeah, I went
is, this,
down.
wait, is this the same honky tonk that you sent pictures of guys kissing from?
Yep.
What
It's,
gentleman's feathers were you ruffling, bro?
Oh, it wasn't ruffling their feathers, but it was, you dance in a
ruffling
country
some.
bar.
Best
Redneck
cup correct.
boyfriends don't dance. It's just kind of a rule.
Best cup correct.
So I show up dancing. It's just like I'm a fucking, an anomaly.
Hold on.
No, but you're
Hold on.
aren't you the dance machine?
Yes,
Craig,
I'm
or
not
something like that.
kidding.
Yeah.
Is this a honky? Is this just a general honky tonk bar? This
It's
isn't
called
a
the Red-
gay honky
No,
tonk.
it's not gay. It's
Okay.
it's called the Red Rock Saloon.
Because that's a
But it
pretty
wasn't a
niche,
real honky
that's a
tonk
pretty
bar.
niche
Ain't no-
bar if it was gay country. Gay,
I
you know
mean,
what
yeah, because
Gay
it's like
honky-
it's not gonna be. I mean,
Well, all their
Never-
music is like all the bands they have there are country. They've got a mechanical bull there. It's kind of like it's got this Coyote Ugly kind
Yeah,
of
with
theme.
dildo
It's
strapped to
right
it.
down by campus. So it's, of course, like
Well, it's
none of
hipster
my
country.
friends would go with me because it's like the median age is probably 25.
It's hipster country. Got it.
No, it ain't hipster country. It's
Yeah.
Red-
they play
Redneck.
Old Town Road 17 times.
it's the entire demographic that comes
It's a
to Madison.
honky tonk bar in Madison, dude.
I mean,
How many times do I have to
you
explain
got
it?
you got to understand, like honky
No,
tonk
I
bar down
get
here
it.
in
That's the
Nashville. I
most
don't think
hipster
too-
thing you could possibly have, isn't it? I mean,
These guys weren't hipsters. These were like rich farm boys who got enough, like they were able to afford going to UW Madison. Like talking with this one guy about how his brand new 2020 Polaris snowmobile got fucked up by his neighbor because he let him borrow it. It's like, yeah, this guy's not a hipster. Anyways,
continue. Well, I get
these
it.
dance around and like all these fucking dudes giving me the cold stare. Even one girlfriend grabs her boyfriend and says, "Just stop looking at him."
Why the fuck are they looking at you?
Because like redneck guys don't dance.
Well, what?
And
Oh,
when
so
they
you
see a
were
guy
out there
dancing-
dancing.
Especially at a
Oh.
honky tonk bar.
At a honky tonk bar, like
What
their
kind of
girlfriends are all
dancing were
looking
you
at me
doing?
too. It's like all I
They're
am
too
is
busy
just
fucking with thumbs on their belt buckles.
I'm exactly. So all I am is a male threat. Like even this one guy was getting a beer at the bar. He's like, "Hey man, you see you're doing your thing out there, but you realize you get like 5 cold stares on you." I was like,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I'm like the keys just
Really?
don't even dignify by looking them back in the eyes. Oh yeah,
Oh.
like you,
Jesus
all eyes are on you because
Christ.
you stick out. Like you're someone who's just fucking zipping around
Yeah.
everyone.
Did the lady start making a circle around you, going go, go?
Oh,
go,
there were a
as you get
few.
the kid in play?
The thing, yeah, it was my first time because I've never been there for a show. I just it's like this fucking country college bar. So yeah, I'm gonna lay some gravy. It's like shooting fish in a bottle down there or a barrel. Like shooting fish in a bottle even easier.
Yeah,
You got one.
right?
Goldfish.
Yeah, it's like I got no competition. It's like way better than going to the hip hop club.
Yeah, 'cause you ain't picking up with a black chick.
So what did they do when the gay guys started making out?
I mean,
Oh,
really.
no one did anything. I mean,
What?
I'm sure.
So wait. They
So
were
they
fine
were
with the
more
gay guys
concerned-
kissing.
Exactly.
They fucking hated your dancing.
They were
Oh
more
yeah,
concerned
no, I'm more
dancing.
because the gay guys making out aren't a threat to their girlfriends who are also watching me.
Oh, so they were just mean mugging your asses. They were fucking.
Yeah, that mean mug kind of.
So that's their problem.
That's a
Oh, it
pretty
is
good
totally their
mean mug.
If their girlfriend isn't secure enough to not fuck you in front of them on the
Right?
dance floor,
Yeah, I know, right? It's like as I told the guy, I'm like, yeah, they're just afraid I'm gonna steal their girlfriend or something. It's
so dumb.
He is sorry for stealing
you're
girlfriends. All
doing
right,
my thing. Fucking
moving on
had a
to the
blast.
funky part of the show next. Thank you for the story, Ashtray. Mystic is up first in the newsroom.
Sorry, Ashley. So first off, yesterday was just a horrible day. So on my way to work, there was a work truck parked across the street from my driveway. Didn't see it. backed out and smashed right into it.
Oh shit!
Busted out my left turn light assembly and like bent the shit out of my trunk lid. Like just kind of cut right into it. So that's gonna be like, I don't know how much, $500-600. So it just didn't start out very good. So, and then on my way to work, I see fucking cop cars flying around, all going toward Miller, and I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? You know?
Yeah.
Get to work, I'm like, oh, breaking news, fucking some dude went on a rampage, murdered everybody. So we were on air for like 5 straight fucking hours. So from 2:30 when I got there till about 11:30, it was just nonstop fucking, you know, murder.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is, it really bothers me. There was no plan. Like, the news director might be good at news, but he can't manage shit.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know, like, he told one of our editors to do a cold open and a close. Like, we usually do...
What's that mean?
Toppers. Listen, okay, so we usually do toppers at the top of each show. It's about a 30-second fucking
story.
Stylistic intro to show you what the top stories are. The top two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then
keep you watching.
It's always got the same set music and the same set graphics. Well, this is really somber, so he asked Damon to come up with an open and a close that were emotional. You know what I mean? Because we were going to be on air for this long and whatever.
But not corny.
Yeah, so, but he didn't fucking tell anybody. So an hour, Damon's working on this motherfucker for an hour. Somebody comes back with a script for a topper. He's like, what the fuck? They're like, oh yeah, now he wants you to do this. Or like somebody else wanted him to do that. You know what I mean? It was like the left hand didn't know what the right was doing. Nobody's fucking taking control. This guy is the news director. Fucking take control of the newsroom and tell people what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they should have assigned each one of us editors to certain amounts of, because we had 8 reporter teams out there.
Yeah.
Which means we got 8 different fucking things to upload for each person in each block. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how fast this shit was. So we're uploading all this shit, and then all of a sudden, oh, here's the 10 topper. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? We don't have a 10 topper. They're like, oh, we have to have one. I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. So you're gonna be all somber for an hour, and then all of a sudden this topper comes in.
Yeah.
Fucking like, here we are, fucking blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, just stylistically it looked like shit. So while I'm trying to get all this done, I accidentally uploaded a slate on the front end of a fucking VOSAT. So like what that means is when they send it through a DeGero or over the air and we record it in our system, it's slated. So it'll say Suzanne 9 p.m. VOSAT 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's in black and big white letters. So it had a false start, which is called. So the package will start running, and then the slate will come up and the package will start running again. So like they're supposed to tell us, or the engineers are supposed to go, okay, that fucked up, take the second take or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. They didn't tell me because the fucking idiot that never fucking tells me. And I ended up putting that on air, which is my fuck up. I should have checked it. Okay.
All right. So you loaded the time piece in there, but like didn't review it.
I didn't look at what I was loading.
You're doing all kinds of shit.
But that is my job. I'll eat that. I'm an editor. That's my job.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do that. But they're also supposed to fucking tell me to look for it because I've got 13 different things to do right at this moment in time because of all this shit coming in. So at least tell me what's going on. It was so disorganized. And then Jim comes back and starts fucking getting all pissy. You know, he's like, this isn't acceptable to do on a regular night. Fucking stop fucking shit up. And like, I swear to God, if I didn't need my job, I would have punched him in his dick. Because I'm sitting and he's like dick level with my fucking fist. I didn't say a word.
Yeah.
I just fucking kept staring at my screen and just kept working. He just walked away. I was just like, oh, you motherfucker. Anyway, that was my fucking thing.
Boom.
Yeah, that sucks. All right, next up is Ashtray with Canada ain't paying for your non-royal ass.
All right, I'll make this long. Basically, just like since I don't really give a shit about the whole Harry and Meghan thing, but they're like, oh, it's
That's
like
why we're talking about it.
fucking yeah, right, exactly. What my fuck, what you think is like, what do you expect? You decide, well, we're gonna leave the royal family, so yeah, Canada's like, oh, you're not royals anymore. We ain't fucking protecting you. See ya. Bye, Felicia. That's my fuck, what you think.
All right.
Holy shit, that was incredibly short for Ashtray.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
I'm taking it and running. Teddy is up next with which is me, with fucking KFC food. All right, so KFC has a goddamn donut sandwich. Okay. Donuts, two
I
leg
don't know
donuts.
if I could get through the whole thing.
A few years ago, they had that meat goddamn like a meat sandwich with like chicken and meat. It was chicken and chicken. Is bacon and chicken in the middle, but the outside, the bread were 2 fried pieces of chicken breast.
My God,
What
that's
is
so fucking ridiculous.
what was that called? The double down. Yeah, the double down sandwich.
What is up with KFC food? What the fuck?
Dude,
I don't
KFC
know.
is like totally off the reservation, man.
I mean,
They're-
I
Yeah,
don't get
that's
this shit.
innovative.
I mean, it's
I haven't been there in a while.
oh my God. Hey, if you want to go down a fucking crazy acid trip, go to the KFC YouTube channel. It is fucking insane.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh yeah, it is
Oh, because
filled.
of all the weird. Because they have a lot. They've been hiring different celebrities to be the
d-
colonel, right?
Because they have a bunch of weird ass shit that they can't put on TV. So their fucking like super weird shit is on their fucking YouTube.
really?
It is amazing.
See, now I gotta check this shit out now.
Right?
Oh my God, I just think it's weird. I'm like, it's. I have a big girl that works with me, and she's the one who actually told me about the fucking Wendy's breakfast and how good it was. So I went and got Wendy's breakfast, and like I was talking to her today. I was like, you see that fucking sandwich? She's like, oh my God, I can't wait to try it. I'm like, calm down, big girl, calm down. All right.
Wow.
And like she started, I mean, she's a nice chick, but then I don't get what's up. I'm like, what is? I'm like, 2 donuts is I don't get it. It's fucking goddamn fucking.
It's gotta be fucking messy.
Man,
I mean,
that's,
it's not messy. I mean, the calorie. I mean, there's gotta be be like
calories.
1,000 calories alone.
Oh,
Right.
I bet more than that.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
3,500.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. I mean, that's just one. I mean, it's and I know I'm pretty sure if it's 2 donuts with a chicken breast, I'm pretty sure people can eat like 2 of those. But I mean, it's just
Right.
oh
just
my
insane.
You can eat one of those before you get lost in the woods.
And they're
You'll survive a
probably
while.
on sale for like 2 for $6. or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, right? 6,000 calories.
It's
You
crazy.
have
We live in
3 days
amazing
of fucking
times.
caloric intake. It's fucking insane. Fucking
Fuck
insane.
flying cars.
Yeah.
right? We got a donut fucking chicken
Put
sandwich.
Chickens on donuts.
Oh my God. Next up is Oracle with put it in the fucking bag.
So I was at the grocery store today at Aldi, and
Sounds like you're robbing a bank when I read that first time. I was
Right?
like, what?
so
you have to
I-
bag your own groceries there.
well, yeah. I mean, I've
You
got
said Aldi's? You said Aldi's,
yeah,
right?
Aldi, yeah,
Well, Aldi's, you have to bring your own shit to carry them out, don't you?
yeah.
that's right,
Well,
yeah.
so
Or
I've
take
got
boxes.
right, take boxes or whatever, and they actually have these, those kind of canvas plasticky bag things.
Yeah.
Totes,
Su-
bro.
fucking
Totes
super
life.
nice. They're actually like by far the best that I've found from any store. And so I go in there and I always just fill one of those up as I walk through, put it on the belt, and then I take my bag and I put it in the cart, and they just scan it and put it back in the bag. Well, there's this fucking old couple in front of me. They're fucking taking their fucking sweet ass time. And I put my shit on the goddamn belt, and the fucking dumb fucktard bitch did
Cashier?
not get out of my way and let me
Oh,
put
the old
my
lady?
fucking bag in the cart. So then the checkout lady is like a fucking mindless robot, just started scanning shit and fucking throwing it in the cart.
With
And I,
their
like,
stuff?
No, with mine, I'm like, I pushed the old lady out of the way.
Literally, did you literally push that lady? You horrible
I mean,
bastard.
I
Push your
shimmied
way
my
around
way
her.
around her, and then I put my bag in, and the fucking crazy Aldi checkout lady is just like scanning and throwing my shit beside the bag. She won't even. So then I'm like shoveling it into the bag, kind of like, hey, see, I'm doing it. You can do it too. It was
But I
a
thought you
fucking
had
nightmare.
to do it there.
It was a fucking nightmare. And
Bag your own.
I mean, it was just like a ridiculous thing. It's like, hey, come on. This is easier for everybody here if you just put it in my bag.
This is a Seinfeld episode.
We got a fucking system.
You're throwing it right here. Why don't you throw it in the bag?
We got a goddamn system. Let's fucking stick to the game plan. That's my fucking rant.
Yeah, right. That's the most egregious fuck you think yet.
You lazy bastard. Didn't want to put
I
your
wasn't
shit in the
being
bag.
fucking lazy. I was trying to
you
be
were supposed to bag
efficient.
it yourself. That's it. I thought that was the key.
The premise of Aldi is they scan your shit, you pay for it, you take it out yourself.
Yeah.
Just scan instead of taking the action of putting the shit beside my bag. Just put it in the fucking bag.
It didn't take any more effort.
Did you move the bag closer to him to be like, see, look, it's right here?
Were you acting any kind of way? Because that seems kind of passive aggressive that she did
What?
that on purpose.
You're totally being passive aggressive.
Jesus
I would have
fucking
just
Christ.
picked the bag up and held it right next to her face.
Yeah, I would have got real close to her with it. See, it's right here.
Right,
Put it
right
in.
here. I mean, fucking, you can't miss it, dude.
Right.
The cart, the Aldi cart.
Cart
This
was
is
in the
clearly the way that this is supposed to work. So they take a cart and they put it at the end of the fucking end
like
of the thing,
Woodman's.
right next to the fucking thing. And the little child seat thing or whatever has a fucking nub on the top that you loop the top of your bag around. So it sits nice and open. And I've done this
Plenty of
a
time.
1,000 fucking times
Yeah.
where I put the bag in there. And I also, when I put things on the belt, I take the fragile, crushable things. I put them towards the end so they're on the top.
Oh, yeah. Right.
They don't have to
Take
worry
it
about
easy.
fucking dick. They just need to fucking put it in the goddamn
You've done
bag.
all the preparation.
Yes,
You've
I've
thought
done the
process
preparation.
out.
Right. Look, I set it up for you.
Where I have to check myself out with a 6-year-old trying to help me. Okay, try me a goddamn river.
Yeah. I didn't think about
In
that.
all seriousness, that's our show. Oracle bitch because he had to put his own goddamn groceries in a fucking bag.
How entitled. Rhode Island's getting to him.
We got a fucking system.
In all
Stick to
seriousness,
it.
that's our show. Go fuck yourself, Oracle. We're gonna be here every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the Red Eye Report, the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/Red Eye Report. You can also Twitter us at Red Eye Report at Red Eye _report. Like and share, whatever. Like us, share, so fuckers. Oh, we will not be here. We won't be here next week because Teddy's gonna be out of town. We're going to Vegas, bitches.
Shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Skype from
fun.
the casino.
I would like to do that, but it's on her birthday, so I don't want to do a show on her birthday. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Understandable.
It's on her what? Her birthday?
her birthday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, next Thursday is her birthday, so it's gonna
I'm
be,
Oracle.
Yeah,
I'm Ashtray.
I'm Mystic.
I'm Teddy. Y'all can all eat a dick. Fuck y'all. This is Red Eye Report, bitches. Fuck y'all. See, this is why are we friends? This is why.